hand quilting for me is not a dirty 4-letter word. I actually really love hand quilting, but I don't have the luxury of the time anymore. And a quilting friend of mine who's part of my quilt group has donated this to me, which is a pre-printed double size white on white quilt. And she has started it, but like me, she doesn't really have the time to finish it. And I understand this machine will do a look-alike stitch, so I might be able to finish it on that.
You certainly can. It's an excellent stitch. I use it a lot because I'm not a hand quilter, I must admit to. And it's fabulous. We have you put your coloured thread into the bobbin.
Right.
Okay, and a monofilament thread on the top of the machine. Okay. Make sure, I mean, I've got a Madeira thread on here at the moment. I think you've got another.
I've got a Wile Eye that I love, yes.
Just a good quality one, so you get a really good finish. And you can get it in clear or smoke as well, so depending on what you're doing. That thread's on the top. Okay. Don't use the needle threader.
Okay.
Because it'll be there for quite some time. I tend to just thread by eye and do it. And then, again, we're into the quilt section of the machine. And we've got the hand look stitches on here. Okay, so we're looking at these hand look stitches here.
So 4 through?
4 through till 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
hand look
interesting.
quilting.
Yes.
So pop that down. And so again, I've put the stitch length. I always lengthen it to minimum 3. It's usually 4.5 and 5, but we've popped this one on 5. And then you may, depending on your threads, your fabrics, your wadding, you may need to adjust it a little bit. So have a little test first on a sample, just to make sure that you're getting the look that you want. And then make sure the proper foot's on, which is the F foot. And then we're just going to start. And as we watch it, you can see that it's pulling up, we're going to see it a little bit better, it's pulling up the coloured thread from the bottom, and because we've got the monofilament, it just looks like a hand stitch.
Okay, so the monofilament is the gaps between,
it's the gaps
that
between
kind of like
them.
a triple stitch.
It's like a triple stitch with a single. Triple stitch with a single.
So we've got black in here, but on here I would use white, wouldn't I?
And it's just, it just makes...
So clever.
It certainly is. It's one of my favourite stitches.
That is so clever.
Yeah, and it's just a really nice stitch to use. Again, if we lock stitch to finish, it'll tie off for me.
Okay. And if I've got a curvy bit, just be slow and gentle.
Speed down, I think, is the thing. And you may want to use the F2, the open toe foot. That might make it a little bit easier for you. And see where you're going. Yeah. But it's just such a lovely stitch, and there are a variety on there on the machine. So here we go. There's some we made earlier. So we've got a different variety. That would be lovely for in the ditch.
Yes.
Anything like that.
Yes.
All of those. And again, this is like a hand look quilting. Again, just varying the stitch length gives you different finished effects. So, you know, make sure, do a sample as always first. Make sure you check, because say different waddings, different threads, different fabrics, they all behave slightly differently.
But once I've got it set for something like this, again, I can program the machine to remember it.
You can, and the other thing is the quilting guide bar. It's one that's very underestimated, because you've got quite a lot of straight lines on there, and I know they are printed out, but sometimes it's easy to go a bit wobbly. So that literally just pops in the back here. You see there's a little hole for it, that will go in there.
Oh, so it works on other feet.
Yes.
I didn't even think of it as my lines.
And again, you've got the lines on the stitch plate if you want to line it up with. Sew your first row, then pop that down on your sewn row of stitches to the right for the width that you want. The key to that is when you're sewing, watch the little bar,
that bit,
not the needle.
Okay.
Because by the time you realise you've gone wrong, you've gone wrong. Yeah. So it's really underestimated little item, this.
I was going to say, I hadn't realised that it worked with feet other than
different
the walking
feet.
foot.
Yes, it's great for doing all kinds of parallel rows.
Lovely, that's lovely. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to have such fun at home when I take this now.